Elon Musk is leading massive IRS layoffs and pushing for major efficiency changes. But will these moves help or hurt taxpayers? Here's what you need to know. In this video, I'll break down Musk's IRS overhaul, how it could impact your taxes, and the potential ways the IRS could actually become more efficient. Right now, around 7,000 IRS employees are being laid off, mostly from compliance and collections departments, and the administration is pushing for faster digitalization of IRS operations. I'm Brad Paladini, a tax attorney with 12 years experience helping taxpayers navigate the IRS, and today I'll explain these changes and how they could impact you. And there's one consequence we're already seeing that might surprise you. The government is slashing IRS jobs, but why now? Musk, leading the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, is overseeing cuts to IRS staff to reduce government spending. The layoffs focus on newer IRS employees in compliance, collections, and customer service. While it's part of a broader plan to streamline the agency, some critics worry it could slow down tax processing and enforcement. So what does this mean for everyday taxpayers? With fewer IRS employees, refund processing could slow down, especially for paper filers. Customer service cutbacks could mean longer phone hold times and slower issue resolution. There could also be fewer audits for lower and middle income taxpayers, but high earners and businesses may still be targeted. Musk isn't just cutting staff, he's also pushing for tech upgrades at the IRS. He plans to modernize IRS systems with AI and automation for return processing. He might use blockchain technology to track payments more efficiently, and he could streamline self-service tools to reduce reliance on phone support. What if instead of layoffs, the IRS focused on real efficiency fixes? For instance, full digitalization. We deal with the IRS all the time. We have hundreds of clients, and every single day we get dozens, sometimes hundreds of pieces of mail from the IRS for every single notice that a client could potentially receive. I don't know what the paper budget is at the IRS, but it's probably massive and it's a complete waste. Other taxing agencies like California and New York have already moved to digitalize their correspondence with practitioners. It'd be a fairly simple fix for the IRS just to use the portal that it already created to upload notices there rather than sending them to practitioners via snail mail. Fraud is a big issue. I was actually talking to a friend of mine the other day who has his own business with maybe 9 or 10 employees. He issued those 9 or 10 W-2s at the beginning of the year. He came to find out that someone got control of his EIN number and had actually submitted 150 W-2s using his EIN. So potentially AI and other technology could be used to prevent these types of fraud and hopefully process returns faster, handle routine inquiries. Perhaps instead of making a push to return everyone to the office, the IRS could use performance metrics to measure effectiveness based on resolution speed and accuracy. I can't tell you how many times we've had to call IRS agents, ask them to do something, they agree it should be done, they promise us it's going to get done, and lo and behold, they never actually do it, forcing us to talk to another agent to try and get it done. So if there was some sort of objective criteria, some metrics, some KPIs for IRS employees, that could be a way to maybe get rid of some of the underperforming employees and keep the ones who are performing at a high level. Of course, if the IRS code wasn't so complicated, that could lead to fewer errors and less times where you need IRS intervention. So should you be worried? Here's the bottom line. If you're expecting a refund, file early and use direct deposit. Make sure you e-file the return. I would expect that paper filed returns are going to take longer than usual to process. If you owe taxes, don't assume enforcement is gone. It could be delayed. And if you need IRS help, expect longer wait times and try to use online resources first. So what are some common mistakes that you should avoid? The IRS can still freeze accounts, garnish wages, and seize assets. And when it comes to wage levies and bank levies, this can be done through a computerized process. It doesn't take a tremendous amount of individual input. So those things can continue. And if Musk is successful in modernizing the IRS, they could do it even better than before. Don't ignore the IRS notices just because people are being laid off at the IRS. And finally, the big surprise that I mentioned earlier in this video was that we have actually seen increased enforcement since the layoffs happened. In particular, IRS revenue officers, who are professional debt collectors for the IRS, are really stepping up enforcement. They are trying to require in-person interviews with taxpayers. They are quicker to issue levies. My feeling is that they are trying to justify their position. There was the big deal about the email with the 5 things Musk expected, I think a couple Mondays ago, kind of outlining what they had done the previous week. And now revenue officers are maybe feeling a bit of a push to really justify their day in and day out. So they are actually stepping up enforcement action quite a bit. I don't know if that will continue, but it was surprising to us and something that taxpayers should be aware of. If you found this breakdown helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more tax updates and IRS insights. And if you owe taxes and need help with dealing with the IRS, click the link below for a consultation. My team and I focus in navigating IRS changes and protecting taxpayers.